Hi, I'm Rick Friedman, and I'm a magazine and portrait photographer from Boston. But today I'm down here in Florida at Melbourne Beach, where we're going to talk about the shoot we did last night with a mermaid. So let's talk about the gear we're going to use to create this mermaid photograph. We're going to use 3 Rogue products. We're going to use 2 Rogue Flashbender XL Pro 2s, a grid strip, and a Rogue grid with the white inserts. Now the white inserts are going to give me softer light around the edges. It's going to help me control where I'm going to do this. So when we do a shoot like this, where we're starting late in the day and we know we're going to be going into darkness, okay? First thing I do is I stage all my equipment so it's set up and ready for what I need. So let's talk about the very first picture we did. Now the first photograph, we used one single Nissan Speedlight with a Rogue XL Pro 2 and a grid strip. Now the grid strip enables me to control where my light is going. So I placed my light where I wanted to hit our wonderful mermaid. Let's talk about how we determine our exposure in a situation like that. The first thing I do is I get an exposure for what I call the element I cannot control. The element in this photograph I can't control is the light in the sky. So I take my camera and I use my in-camera meter and I get a meter reading off the sky. Then I underexpose it about 1 stop, giving me a richer sky. Now my model or my mermaid is in pretty low light, which is exactly what I want, because now I'm adding the light in to go where I want it to go. I've got to go up and get a meter reading off of my model. And what I like to do in a situation like this is I want to work on manual. All my lights are on manual. So I'm actually going to take my Sekonic 478 meter out and I'm going to meter the light coming out of that flash. I then get that exposure to be equal to what my sky exposure is, but I'm controlling where the light's going on my mermaid. So I've got complete control. And then after I've got that photograph down and I really like it, I think I'm going to add more to it. So I'm going to take my Rogue grid and I'm going to put it directly behind her hair and I'm going to give her a halo. And it's really sort of this beautiful wraparound light. And when you're doing that, get your backlight so that it's just below the height of your model's head. What I do is I stand on my tiptoes, and if I can just see the top of the grid over her head, then when I stand flat-footed, it's exactly in the right place. So now I've got 2 lights set up, and this picture is going great, and I'm really happy with it. As I'm shooting, I'm watching, and the right side of the ship is going into more darkness, because we're getting pretty close to dark at this point. And I decide I want to give it some illumination. So I shoot a few using another Rogue XL Pro to illuminate the dark side of the deck. Turn my strobe down about a stop, and then I decide I want more from that. So I actually go over and I pull the grid right off the front of it. And I take the Rogue XL Flashbender and I actually bend it over. Now my light's spreading out more, but I'm controlling where it's going. For the next setup, we've got the mermaid lying in the sand, which I think is where the mermaid should be when she comes out of the water. For lighting, okay, I'm lighting her with a Rogue grid. That one with the white insert. It's going to give me the soft edge. The main light is the grid on her. Now I'm using one of my Rogue XL Pros to help illuminate the background. Final shot of the evening, which was shot in almost total darkness. We lit her with just that Rogue grid spot with the white insert. And I actually had somebody holding it, okay? Now my exposures are incredibly long because it's almost completely dark out. But because it's dark out and my model is in virtual darkness, okay, I can now hand hold it at very long exposures. We were actually hand holding the camera at up to 5 seconds, which normally you can't do, but because my model was in darkness and I was controlling the light on her, I was able to do it. There you have how we lit our mermaid on the beach. The beauty of using the Rogue lighting system is it's small, it's lightweight, it's portable, but it gives you beautiful light that you can control. I'm Rick Friedman. Thanks for joining me on the beach.